Hey everyone, welcome back to Unapologetically Black and Fast 2022. Right now, you are watching a brand new recurring Hotfix marathon. Black runners are front and center in a celebration of Black joy. This is the first weekend of it. Today, February 12th, and tomorrow, February 13th, starting at 3 p.m. Eastern each day. Again, type schedule in the chat to see what we have going on. But we've had such an incredible day, and I'm so excited because up next, we're about to be watching Scooby Night of 100 Frights. First, I want to mention, if you're watching on YouTube, go to twitch.tv/gamesdonequick. If you're interested in looking at our live content starting weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. And then also, if you have any ideas for your own show or one-off events, feel free to go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix to submit those ideas. So, I think it's time. We got Nestani here. And Nestani, are you ready to bring everybody a wonderful show of Scooby Night of 100 Frights?
I am.
All right, then I think we're ready to kick it off, so I'll hand it over to you and Coley.
What's up? Thank you. All right, what's up, everyone? My name is Nestani, and like they said, today we're going to be running Scooby Night of 100 Frights. Specifically, we're going to be running the any percent category, any percent no CE. No CE just stands for no creepy early, and creepy early is essentially just an exclusive trick to the Xbox version of the game that we've banned in this category to accessibility purposes because most people run on GameCube in general. And then, Cole, if you would like to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Coley, or Coley_02, and it's an honor and a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. And so, basically some quick tidbits about the run is that any percent also just means that we're going to defeat the final boss of the game, Mastermind, as quickly as possible. And so just zooming out a bit, we're going to be skipping about 75% of the game just to throw that in there before we get going because it's going to go by really, really quickly, but we have a lot of cool stuff in store. And so I'm basically going to count down from 3 to go, and then on go, we will just go. So 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so Scooby Night of 100 Frights is a 2.5D/3D platforming Metroidvania, meaning that we're going to do a lot of platforming throughout this run, and we're also going to be collecting a lot of upgrades. These upgrades are also called inventions in this game, and basically these inventions, there are 11 of them in the game, and we're actually only collecting 4 of them. And since a lot of these inventions are tied to bosses, we actually don't collect any of the inventions required from those bosses, so we're going to skip 3 out of the major 4 bosses in this game. The only one we're going to fight is the last one, Mastermind. And so the first thing you're going to notice is that we're coming to the side room. This is because we're collecting these things called Scooby snacks. Normally you're only supposed to be in here just to learn how to play the game, but fortunately I already know how to play the game, so I don't need the game to tell me how to play it. So we're just going to collect these things. They're called Scooby snacks. They're making that like chomping sound when I run into them. This is because we need to collect these in order to pay snack gates throughout the run. And so basically how we're collecting these snacks is we're only collecting the fastest snacks in the game. This is an example of a snack gate. It's a 25, but they scale all the way up to 850. So we're basically just prioritizing the fastest snacks in the game. So even though we're kind of going out of our way to collect some snacks, it's actually the fastest manner possible in order to complete the game. So up next, we're going to do our first little trick here, known as chandelier jump. Unfortunately, I missed it, but this trick is a bit finicky sometimes. Unfortunate. Shout out to Snowy Moogle, my man. But we're going to go up here. It's actually quite worth it to jump up there just because we get those 2 snack boxes. And snack boxes are worth 5 snacks each, so we're going to be prioritizing them a lot throughout the run. And then we're going to talk to Holly, as we did there. And she actually gives us the map, which will be used to do a trick known as pause storage later on the run. And Holly also triggers the groundskeeper spawn, who is also voiced by Don Knotts. Fun fact, and he actually gives us our first invention of 4 in this game, the shovel, which we need a shovel to dig. I am not sure why we need a shovel to dig. We're a dog. I don't know. Don't ask me, man. I'm just here. But we're just going to make our way through here, and we're actually on our way to our second upgrade of the run right now, the springs, or the double jump. And basically, the double jump will allow us to skip about 50% of its game by itself. So it's a very, very important upgrade that we're going to get, and it's going to make some platforming easier. But first, we're going to make a cycle right here, known as rat cycle, where we're going to walk through these rats, make it through that last rat without getting hit. And basically, all you need to know about cycles in this game, we're going to point them out throughout the run, but basically, anything that moves is on a set cycle. So enemies, platforms, hooks, literally anything that's not me is on a set cycle. So the way that we've routed this game is that we're going to maximize the amount of snacks that we get in each level while also minimizing the amount of time we're spending in each level, of course. So here is one room where normally Shaggy wants us to help us up and get these snack boxes and get up to this box, but we actually don't need Shaggy because we're a strong, independent dog. We don't need no man, so we're just going to jump to that box ourselves, and then we're going to get that snack box, make it through these hooks, and then we're going to make our way onto the Springs invention and also pay our second snack gate of the run, the 50 snack gate. Now, these snack gates scale up to 850, so while we do have a couple more snacks than we need right now, it is because we're going to end with a 0 eventually.
Yeah, and in this level right here, we're introduced to tar, that sticky substance on the ground you can see right there. It really stinks because it only allows Scooby to walk. You can't jump, you can't attack, you can't do anything. So we're going to try and avoid it as much as we possibly can, including with a trick right here where we're going to do a jump right when we load into the level, just like that. That's called tar strats. We actually use a metronome to time the jump just perfectly so we can skip the tar and grab a few snacks up there as well. But now we're in the level Pier 3, and that means we're finally going to get the Springs power-up, which Nestani mentioned earlier is the double jump of this game, arguably the most important item you will get in the entire game. But instead of talking about skipping out like tar and stuff, how about we skip 25% of the game right now with a Void Warp? So what Void Warps are is if you can get Scooby out of bounds and fall into the void, there's actually a fail-safe that triggers, putting Scooby at a specific spawn point in the level. So we're gonna time, clip through the water, and we just magically teleported to this level right here, Pier 1. It's really, really cool. And because we're actually in this level, we're not supposed to be in this level until we go through all the manor levels, skip the Black Knight boss fight, and get the Galoshes power up. So in 10 seconds, we just skipped 25% of the game. Really, really cool stuff. And we're going to be entering Coast 1 right here. And this is a great time to talk about charging. You're going to see Nestani do it a lot, but not all the time, because charging is gradual. You gain speed as you move along. It's the fastest way to move in the game sometimes. So during long distances, that's when we want to charge. But when it's shorter distances, like these platforms right here, we're just going to hold the R button and just run like normal. And right here, you're going to see Nestani death abuse, so we can skip that cutscene. But it also allows us to collect 4 keys at the end of the level. It changes their hitboxes. And we need to collect these keys so it'll unlock the door and lead us to the next coast level. Unfortunately for us, they're trapped in these wooden crates, which we would normally need the helmet invention to get, because this allows us to break those wooden crates. But because we're here so early, because we skipped everything, we're gonna have to find a different way to get the keys. So what we're gonna do instead is we're going to clip through the boxes. Now, for 3 of these keys, it's actually really, really simple. You can just walk into them like that. But it's that box in the middle that really causes us troubles. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to use this fish enemy right here and position it just perfectly to allow us to clip through the box. This is called fish clip, or informally known as fish cringe, because as you can see right there, it's very finicky. You have to be very precise with the fish. But Nestani is a Chad, got it second try, and we're on our way to Coast 2.
All right, so in Coast 2, one thing we didn't mention about Scooby's charge attack is that his hitbox shrinks to his head, meaning that as long as we aim our head away from enemies, we can actually just walk right past them like this and avoid them and make a cycle in this level known as Zero Cycle, which we make it past that first box without getting smashed. It's a really cool mechanic about the charge, and we're actually going to use it a lot throughout the run, and ideally, just pretty much avoid every enemy that we come across. Also, just a sub note, the hearts that you see flying around when I'm collecting snacks is not normally in the game. It's only on Valentine's Day, which apparently my Wii is set to. I forgot to check that. So instead, we get to have some hearts flying, but I think the hearts add a little bit of flair, so I'm okay with it. But in this level, we're basically just trying to make a cycle with these flying fishes, because we're actually going to use the flying fishes in order to get across to the back half of this level. We're not going to make the cycle, never mind, I got hit. But we're going to get hit, use the iframes to make it back to the back half of this level and collect all these snacks here. These are called coast boats. And we're basically prioritizing the fastest snacks in the game here. So even though we're kind of going out of our way to collect these snacks, it's actually the fastest manner possible, because again, we're trying to end with exactly 0, since the last snack gate we're going to pay is 850. But first we're going to warp away here, because That is at the 500 gate that we're going to go through later, because through that gate hosts the Super Smash upgrade, which is the 4th invention we're going to get, but we can't collect that until we get the helmet upgrade. So we're going to go get the helmet upgrade first so we can break that open. And so that's where we are headed to right now. But if we have any readings, now would be a good time to do them, if we're doing readings.
No, we're just having a good time.
We're just having a good time?
Yeah.
Word. All right, then I will keep talking.
Right, yeah.
So,
Can I just say, like, the movement is so satisfying to watch.
it really is. So basically, you're going to see me use this charge move again I'm going to prioritize this over longer distances. So like those little ledges right there, I'm just going to walk across, but then I'm going to dash as soon as I'm basically like free to dash more, because a really cool, again, we mentioned it, but a really cool mechanic about it is that like we're only going to use it over long distances. So there's some certain spots in the game where we need to, pretty much just pick and choose like when and where we're going to dash overall. And so basically, rounding back to where we're going, we're actually going to pick up the helmet upgrade now. And the helmet upgrade is very useful because it allows us to kill enemies, so we can beat the Mastermind boss fight, because we need the helmet to beat the Mastermind boss fight. We also need the helmet in order to get the Super Smash upgrade, which we need to defeat Mastermind, of course. And then also will allow us to hit buttons. But if you're familiar with the pathing of this game, normally we're supposed to go through these hedge levels into greenhouse and levels known as hills. But those levels are actually really, really slow, because notably in Hedge 4, which is the level after this, there's a very long auto-scroller. So instead, we're going to go through the levels called Skull Cliff backwards, because if you go through them backwards, it connects to the level with the helmet in it. And to get there, we're going to clip through this gate by holding up left on the D-pad, and you can actually do that one at home. It's pretty easy to do. And we're going to be in Misbehaving Cosmic Haven, which again, if you are familiar with the norm pathing of this game, you will know that we are way out of our way, because normally we're supposed to have the helmet and the Super Smash by the time we are in this level. And we're in this level because this level also hosts a entrance to the Skull Cliff levels, which we will go through after we collect some snacks. And after we get chased by this fish, unfortunate, we'll try to juke him. Easy clap. Oh, there's another one. I'm sad. Okay, we're fine. But now, a notable reason why this is faster is because we're going to do another one of those Void Warps in this level right here.
Yeah, and this takes a little bit longer to set up, so hopefully you'll get to see it a bit better. The other one's so fast, but we're going to climb on some invisible ledges right there in the stalactite and on the ceiling/wall up here. But to actually get out of bounds, we need to do what is called a skid jump to avoid some death planes. So right here, you're going to see Nestani charge, skid, and jump to miss all those death planes, fall into the void, and actually void warp to the beginning of the level. This actually saves a couple minutes in the speed run, and this is like, I think it's the longest level in the run, probably, right? Yeah.
It's the longest level besides Misbehaving 3. So
yes.
Yeah, that level's probably like a minute and a half long, so we just like skip all of it in like 30 seconds. We don't need it.
It's really cool. And continuing on here in Skull Cliff, you're going to see Nestani make a cycle right here where he picks up all the snacks in that arc, even the one by that caveman. There's going to be a lot of cycles like that I'll point out actually in the next level, and they seem really like minuscule and not very important at all, but especially when you start lowering your time, you can see how these really add up, and you really want to collect every snack that you can at all times. You're going to see in this level, Nestani is going to charge as much as he can, jump as little as possible, really use his movement to his advantage to go through this level as fast as he possibly can, avoiding all those falling rocks, including this last one right here, where you can make a cycle where you can walk right underneath it, just like that, without getting hit or jumping over it. The fastest way to go through this level. Now we are in the first, but our final, because we're going through these backwards, Skull Cliff levels. We're going to jump over this chasm right here, grab these two snack arcs, and then climb up this wall to enter the level Hill 3, which will finally give us the helmet upgrade. And as Nestani mentioned before, this upgrade is going to be huge because it's going to allow us to defeat enemies, push buttons, and more importantly, get the Super Smash upgrade, the final invention we'll need to defeat the Mastermind. But right here, he's going to grab some snacks and try and make a cycle as we're moving up this hill. At the top of this hill is where the helmet invention is going to be. But there's a boulder that rolls down the hill coming up right here. And we can actually make a cycle where we run right next to the boulder just like that. So we don't have to jump over it, which is slow, or get hit by it. But guys, next up is probably my favorite trick in the entire game, the coolest trick by far, coolest thing you'll see all day, pause storage. And how pause storage works is we're gonna pause the game and quit the game. But when we quit the game, we're gonna pull the controller out at the same time, and it's gonna bring up a menu which will allow us to warp from anywhere without using a warp gate. So you're gonna see right here, quit the game, unplug the controller, you hear that sound effect, plug the controller back in while holding start.
Plug the controller back in.
Plug the controller back in.
I'm plugging the controller back in.
Well, isn't this just a lovely noise? Did you try a different controller? Isn't this noise wonderful?
It's just the sound of the
I hope you all
teleporter.
enjoy this noise. I'm pulling out another controller.
This noise is actually caused by
This
the
doesn't
game's
happen.
menuing
This does
selection
not happen.
happening over and over. You just get another controller, it's okay. But, well, this knows that he successfully did it, because if you fail this trick, what actually can happen is you'll quit the game and the run will be over.
It doesn't work at all. Are we stuck?
Are we
Are
really?
we just stuck? This has this happened to anyone ever?
This has never happened to me. You have been practicing this game a lot.
Oh yeah, somebody has to say rut-row. Rut-row.
On the bright side, I do have a save state in case I miss this trick, because if I miss this trick, I reset. So I can actually just restart my console, because apparently it's not going to work. Hopefully I didn't break my port.
Yeah, that broke.
Hopefully the port's fine. If I broke the port, that would be a little awkward. But I do have a save state, or not a save state, but like a save set up, just in case this did happen. Or not this happened, but in case I quit the game, which I didn't. I did get the trick. That's normally what happens, but I don't know. So, it's fine. Just don't worry about it. Like, we're all good here.
You just get to see the title now.
You get to see the title and the loading screen.
But normally,
normally you were supposed to be able to warp from there. So normally you plug in the controller. Normally that doesn't happen. We're gonna have to look into that, or maybe we don't have to look into it, depending on if this works.
Yeah, I don't know. if it's not
concerned.
your controller port.
All right, we're good.
Wow, that's interesting.
All right. That was very weird.
Glitch
All
hunting
right,
here.
well, anyway, as you can see, we're 17% of the way done with the run, so we're just gonna spawn in, and then just make sure my settings are good. All right, let's just keep going. All right, so what we were going to do is just do pause storage and go back to the coast warp gate that we were going to do before. Now, I've never seen that before, but that's fine. There's a 500 snack gate. We're going to pay it. We're back underway. We didn't miss anything. The only thing we missed was doing pause storage because of whatever happened that was. I guess when you glitch the game, that unlucky sometimes it bites back.
It's really weird. It glitched during a glitch.
yeah. What? How did my glitch glitch?
Why
dude?
is this
That's kind of
happening right now?
cringe. That's so weird.
There's a lot of running into the camera in this game. Or jumping towards the camera, running towards the camera.
The camera angles are not very, they're not very cash money. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes you're just running blind and you're like, well, this is great. I didn't want to see where I was going anyway. You have to do a good amount of remembering actually how you're pathing and stuff. I'm so sad.
I think it's for the cinematic effect.
True. So in this level, what you'll notice is that I hit that button and you'll notice that I didn't sit down or play a bonking animation. This is because whenever we hit enemies or buttons with Scooby's helmet and we release the B button at the same time as we collide with them, we can basically skip the bonking animation, and basically each one of these saves a second off of our time. So we're going to be going for a lot of them for the remainder of the run. Basically, which way the last level and Lighthouse this level is basically where they start adding up, because this is where we go for them. And we're going to break this open up, and this actually has the Super Smash upgrade, which is basically a ground pound from Super Mario. And this is the final inventory we're going to collect, and we're going to make our way into Lighthouse 2. And then now we are basically just gunning it straight towards Mastermind now that we have all 4 upgrades that we need. We don't need to fight Black Knight, we don't need to fight Green Ghost, we don't need to fight Redbeard. And if you've noticed, we've already skipped Black Knight, but we're about to skip the other 2 bosses. And but before we get there, we're going to do some good... Ooh, I made the cycle. Let's go. A very nice cycle there, making it through that hook. Of course, I choked the end of the cycle. That's just kind of ironic. Is what it is, but we're going to make our way into the creepy levels.
Yeah, and these creepy levels that's really the start of the end game here. And you guys may not believe me, but you're going to see it. We're about to skip 50% of the game in just 10 seconds using only 4 ledges to do so. And these are 2 tricks, and they're called RBS and they're called GGS. RBS stands for Redbeard Skip, and GGS stands for Green Ghost Skip. Those are 2 bosses that we're going to skip and just go right to the mastermind in the end of the game. And these bosses house the inventions, the umbrella, which allows you to float up air currents, and the gum/the soap, which allows us to use enemies as our own platforms. And as you can tell, both of these inventions help us gain elevation, but if we have invisible ledges on the wall to do that anyway, then we really don't need to fight the boss and get the invention. So we're gonna do that right now. And first we're gonna skip Redbeard, so we're gonna do RBS in this room right here. So we're gonna talk to Shaggy, use an invisible ledge right here to grab this key, and then we're gonna hit the magnifying glass to skip the cutscene, and we're gonna land on these 2 ledges right here.
Go Snowy Moogle.
Those 2 ledges right there, we just skipped 25% of the game. How about that? Let's do it again. This is GGS, landing on these 2 ledges right here to not use the fan, and we're just gonna jump across with the bat. That's another 25% of the game. We're gonna do another difficult jump right here called YOLO jump. It's a really precise double jump that we actually use the ground pound for, just so we can barely get on that platform and to extend our distance a little bit longer. And because we did that jump, we actually just skipped this entire room. We don't have to deal with the electricity, getting hurt, all the puzzles. It's done, we skipped it, and we're gonna make our way to the second lab level. Lab level? Lab level? And then we're gonna do a skip right here called Lido Skip. Talked about the camera before. This is a trick we do out of frame so we can reach the 850 snack gate. I can't talk today. But look at our snack count. You saw that we had 1 snack right there. That just goes to show how we try to collect as little snacks as possible, as quickly as possible. Snack routing is literally what makes this speedrun so unique and interesting and fun as well, especially in any percent. It's become so optimized in the past 2 years. Absolutely incredible stuff.
I also want to say that I made RBS, GGS, and YOLO jump look like child's play.
Yeah.
Those are literally the hardest jumps in the game to do, and I just kind of
that was really impressive. Yeah,
that was kind of lit.
Yeah, that was a lot
so,
back to back too.
Yeah,
a lot,
it's just like boom, boom, boom. It goes really, really quickly after pause storage. But basically, in that last room, we basically just skipped Shaggy. He was trying to get eaten by sharks, but if you're worried about his well-being, he's right here. He's fine. And we're going to clip through this wall here. And by clipping through this wall, we actually get to skip the first phase of the Mastermind boss fight, which the Mastermind boss fight just spawns 3 waves of enemies. And since we don't need any of the other upgrades in the game to kill these enemies, we can skip so many of the upgrades in this game because in this boss fight, for whatever reason, you don't actually use any of the upgrades besides the helmet and the Super Smash. Those are the only 2 that you need to beat the Mastermind, so we're just going to use those. And I will also be attempting to do as many frame perfects as possible through here. And also flinching every single time I do them because that's just how it goes, you know. And then basically time will end pretty soon. Basically what's going to happen is after I hit this last button here, Mastermind's going to spawn on the ground and we will hit him into the electricity by those buttons. And where Mastermind spawns is just RNG. It's the only method of RNG in this run. Luckily, the RNG can really only cost you about 5 seconds, so it's really not the worst RNG ever, to be honest. You're not really going to lose like a bunch of time. So he spawns here. A really bad spawn, I'll just want to say. You normally want him to spawn right next to it, but we're just going to slowly hit him over, and then once he hits the electricity, timer will end. So right now. And that is time.
Let's go.
GG.
You know, a bit unexpected. You know, I don't
some technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. I've never seen that happen to anyone ever with pause storage. That is I don't know why that happened. That was very weird. But regardless, that's the run. It went pretty well. Like outside of that, you know, outside of the forced reset, I think it was pretty good. But yeah. I guess Cole, if you want to do your shout outs real quick.
Oh, yeah, you can, I guess, Follow me on twitch.tv/Coley_2. I play this game pretty frequently. Yeah, and also we have a speedrunning Discord. Go join that. Woo.
True. I was actually going to advertise that too, but yeah. If you're interested in running this game, maybe not interested in like getting glitched out of pause storage, that won't happen to you. We'll say. Normally what happens is you just quit the game. That's fine. You know, it's all good. But yeah, just quick shouts for me. Again, we do have a speedrunning Discord. It's actually for all of the Scooby-Doo games, so not just this game. So if you're interested in running Unmasked or Cyber Chase, any Scooby-Doo game ever, it's on our SRC page, the Night of 100 Frights SRC page. I don't know the hyperlink off the top of my head. You'll have to forgive me. Yeah, and just shouts for myself, just twitch.tv/Nestani. I have a YouTube channel. If you look up Nestani Scooby, I'll pop up. I actually have tutorials for the 80% category of this game. If you want to check it out, learn it, I do have that on my channel. And yeah, I just want to also just give a big thank you to GDQ for having me. It's kind of surreal being on GDQ's channel, just a little bit. And I just really have also just appreciated this event in general, just highlighting some of my fellow peeps. I do appreciate it. And it's been really fun to watch all the runs that have been happening. And I'm looking forward to watching more of them later tonight and tomorrow. Yeah, also shout out to my boy Ryan, because he's the one who got me into this game in the first place. I always got to shout him out, and I always got to shout out to Pokimane. And I think that is all of my shout outs.
Well, thank you, Nestani and Coley. That was an incredible showcase of Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights. And, you know, again, we're here for the very first ever Unapologetically Black and Fast, and we're having a great time. We're about to go to a quick break, but before we go, I want to remind you to get up, stretch, breathe, walk around, and get your blood flowing, and we'll be back with you in just a minute.